The universe isn't just out there, it's interacting with you. Claim your power by embracing the unknown. This is Tracy with Tracy Talks, and I'm here to ignite your curiosity. Don't just listen, embrace it. Today was just one of those days where I needed to change up the energy. I typically release pods at a specific time and date, but it didn't feel like that was what I needed to do right now. And I have to remind myself that it's okay to shift things up. It's okay to do things differently, that I don't have to be in this strict routine. In so many ways, the routine feels good. This set schedule feels good and safe, and it feels like it is somehow holding me into this container, which can feel really good. And then I get to this point and it's like, no, I can't just live by this. I can't just be in this unconscious routine. And for me, that's what it really feels like. It feels like this unconscious state of being where I am looking at the clock and seeing the time is supposed to trigger something in me. But there comes a point where that is diminishing my creativity. That is diminishing my flow. And I don't always feel it, and I don't have this set schedule, but yesterday it's like, no, I'm not going to go record. It doesn't seem right. The energy doesn't seem to be there, and that is okay. And how many times do we as women push through and do things that we really don't feel like doing in the moment? So much of my unconscious programming still goes back to that I have to be doing these things, and somebody told me that this is the way that I need to do it, so I'm going to do it like that. But that isn't living in the moment. That isn't living with my integrity, and that isn't living with my intuition. And I'm really trying to make this year about feeling into my body, feeling into my intuition, and accepting the messages that I hear. And I have to remind myself that when I get a hit, I have to take action. No matter how crazy it seems, no matter how unbelievable or how ridiculous, I'm supposed to take action. That's why I got the message. Every time that I don't take action, that shuts that flow of information and intuition down. I'm sure it's like my guide somewhere saying, you asked for information, you ask for a next step, and I give it to you, and you don't take it. You don't listen to me. You don't take my advice. I personally have direct knowledge of how difficult it is to get water flowing from a source. It is not easy to tap into our sources. Our intuition is oftentimes described as flow, like water. Water is synonymous for our emotions. The water signs are emotional. Our intuition is also in that same category of this state of flow. And how do we connect to that? I had a water situation a few months ago, and I still have in my mind how difficult it was to get that flow and that connection going. And I also need to take that and realize that my intuition is similar to the flow of water, the flow of emotions. I have to participate on a regular basis with my intuition to maintain that constant flow of information, of knowledge, of wisdom, of understanding. Yesterday, when I got this realization that it wasn't the right time to record, I have to embrace those moments, trust those moments. There are so many people out here in the content creator world that have tips on you have to do these things. You have to do this if you want this. And I personally believe that we are moving into this place where we as creators are going to have to show up in our authentic self. And while those structures are necessary for so many people, they're not necessary for everyone because, again, we are all different. I have very different energy than you do. I have very different needs than you do. I have very different containers in which I have to show up in every single day. And when somebody tells me, you have to do this, I have to remind people, I am not the same as you. I am okay with that. And why are you not okay with that? It feels like there are times where I'm still coming up against people who are challenging me in ways in which I need to reinforce these messages in my body. How does my life look like when I am showing up in the flow? There are days in which I am supposed to just be in the flow of creativity, which goes against everything that I was raised in, that I was taught, that I was programmed to believe. And how can I be in that flow state, in that creativity, and not feel like the world is crashing down around me, not feel like I am not doing anything? And I had that discussion this last week with someone where they're like, you should be doing this. Okay, but I am doing all of these other things that you don't see, that you don't know about. Because I am living in this flow state, and this flow state requires me to have multiple projects, but I don't announce it to everyone. I don't have this running list of these are the things that I'm doing for you to understand. You don't have to understand. And I can't help but be grateful when these types of messages show up for me. And again, it just reinforces that I am a unique individual. I'm a unique creator. Each one of us are here to find that structure, that container that we can thrive in, that we can show up as our full self. Never has it worked for me where I have followed someone else's plan. I've tried that method. And I woke up every day frustrated. I didn't like it. It didn't feel like it was a fit. It was like I was always wearing an outfit that didn't represent me. It didn't feel authentic. And our life is really about creating this space where we can be our unique selves, where we can come alive to our fullest, be authentic, and live with this individualism that we are all here for. And I'm going to say it again. Each one of us, the world needs each one of us to show up as our authentic self. It does. It doesn't need us to be carbon copies of someone else just so we can get an income, just so we can feel successful, just so we can get the car, the house. And I know that stuff is important and it feels good, but it doesn't feel good if we have followed someone else's plan and we have all the things and we still feel empty inside. So I don't know what this year has for me. This Capricorn season is really a season to make progress, that there is some really good energy to set foundations, to create a schedule, to make a plan on paper. This isn't complete the plan. This is a time to identify action items. There is a lot of energy for each of us to identify areas where we want to make progress this year. And I have had a couple of downloads here today, and they have felt really good. I've got them on the paper, I've got them on the list, and I'm going to trust that when the energy is right, that I'm going to have the energy to bring them into reality. I am wishing each of you a very happy Monday, a very productive start to the week, and until next time, we meet again. Thank you for listening to this episode of Tracy Talks. Remember to rate, review, and subscribe, and share with others who would enjoy listening to this podcast. Friends can find Tracy Talks available on iTunes, Spotify, Substack, and YouTube. Hit me up on Instagram and Facebook at More Tracy Talks. And until next time, we meet again.